Okay, I'd like to call this meeting of the Southern Berkshire Regional School District School Committee to order 1,681. Standing reports, approval of the school committee minutes from 1680 on February 27th.
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Roll call vote.
I have one easy correction. Under number 3, I think you meant to say reported that the 8th graders is, or it just says the 8th is hosting.
The 8th grade.
So, yeah, so I think there's an insertion of a word.
I also think Abigail spelled one out.
Okay.
Anybody else have anything? All righty. Roll call vote. Nancy?
Yes.
Kim?
Yes.
Jim? Julie?
Yes.
Bonnie?
Yes.
Stephanie?
Yes.
Carl?
Yes.
And me, yes. Arthur? Nobody else is up there, right?
Right.
Okay. All right. Receipt of correspondence?
None.
None. Enrollment report?
The enrollment report is in your packet, and as of March 1st, we have 610 students, down 1.
Student representative report.
So Marin's here for tonight.
Hello,
Hi.
my name is Marian Schoonmaker. I am the student representative for the sophomore class. And recently, the middle school prom and dance is about to kick off. The juniors are running and organizing that program. The Plymouth field trip happened last weekend. Myself and 2 other students attended, and we went to visit the Safe Promise program, and we learned a lot of different tactics and materials that would help us improve our community at school. Seniors in the culinary class went to a French restaurant the other day. Spring is coming soon, and students are very excited to attend class outdoors and for the nice season ahead. Spring sports are also starting with track, softball, tennis, and a couple others that I do not know. The 10th grade MCAS is happening in a couple of weeks with the new program that we're starting. So, and student council has not met yet, but we're hoping to meet soon to discuss fundraising.
Bonnie?
Can you tell us of you spoke about techniques you learned at the conference you just went to? Can you give us an example and how you use it?
What was that?
Can you give us an example of something you learned during that conference and how you would apply it?
Yes, there was a tactic that we learned called start with hello. So if you see a student who is by themselves maybe or does not have a lot of friends, you would go up to them and start with hello, communicate, start a conversation, make them feel included. There is also a see something, say something, where if you see somebody being bullied or ridiculed, then you speak up to an adult and defend them.
Excellent. And how will you get the message that you as our representatives, you and the others, to the wider student body?
We hope to use the bulletin board in the front high school entrance as a kind of advertisement for starting these actions, and also Plymouth will be coming, the Safe Promise Club will be coming next week for an assembly to address this to the middle and high school.
Thank you. Good luck.
Anybody else have any more questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Marin.
Yep.
It's okay, she's gonna do it.
Okay. Student spotlight.
So I am here to introduce the Student Spotlight.
My name is Michelle Castellano. I am the Administrative Assistant to the Superintendent of Schools. So as Maren mentioned, last week, a group of us went to Plymouth, Massachusetts to the Safe Promise Youth Leadership Workshop. And as you'll see in a moment, there'll be a little short video that Julie Sterna-Eagle, myself, Maren, Jonathan, and Irene all attended. And basically what what SAVE stands for is Students Against Violence Everywhere. And they partnered with Sandy Hook Promise, and you'll hear all about it. But the 3 students are part of our Superintendent Student Advisory Council. And we had a really great time at the workshop. And we learned really some great things and things we're going to incorporate in the school, like Maren mentioned, along with Start With Hello and Say Something. There's also something that we can do at the school that No One Eats Alone day, where you want to make sure that if you do see a student eating alone, that you go up to them and make sure that they feel welcome and they're not eating alone for a reason that they feel like they have no friends. They're eating alone because they want to eat alone. And in any case, here's a little short video. And I do want to mention that afterwards, we did visit Plymouth Rock.
Hi, everybody. Julie Sterna-Eagle, Assistant Principal at Mount Everett. I just want to give you guys a little bit of background on the Sandy Hook Promise organization, which was developed after the tragedy in Newtown back in 2012. Group of people after the tragedy got together and decided to create a mission for the organization that would promote nonviolence in schools and inclusivity and the sense of belonging for every student. So we went to a really cool workshop where we got a lot of neat ideas to, again, promote inclusivity and make sure that everyone feels like they belong. So you're about to hear from 3 really great students from the Superintendent's Advisory Board in ways that we can implement some of these activities and ideas. What ideas do you believe we could incorporate here at school to make us a more inclusive environment?
I feel that we should make positive cards in each homeroom. We'll get them and write them, and then they would get mixed around and passed to different classes, so people would have a card from someone in another grade, and it will be bonding, I guess.
You could do the Start With Hello billboard or bulletin board that's out front by the Eagle. That'd be something to show that. And the See Something, Say Something. If you see something, tell it all. Yeah.
I think we should do a field day at the end of the school year that includes all middle school and high school, participating in name tags in different groups by the color of those name tags, allowing for different students to meet across different grades, high school and middle school, since they're so divided.
Any questions?
So this is the very beginning of this initiative that we had started for a while, and it's funded by the Attorney General's office. This is actually, I think there's about 75 school districts that can participate. We are in year 2. They still had 5 or 7 spaces. So I think Michelle, and it was really nice because as I said to, this is the joy of being my assistant. I'm like, hey, how about you go on that field trip? Because I'm going to be over here. So it's great because she also is in with the kids in the Superintendent Advisory Council. They know her as Miss Michelle as part of the whole council. So she and Mrs. Sterna-Eagle took the students down, and it's all about students leading students. So not only are they going to spread the word and create this, help to encourage other people to join in this movement as middle and high school students, but they are then going to help with the elementary students where there is some other programming that's available. So it's kind of neat.
Nancy?
What are 1 or 2 things, Michelle, that were takeaways for you that were unexpected?
That a lot of the concerns we have here are in other schools. The bullying, just, kids feeling left out. You think it just happens in just to us, but when we were with a group of like 4 or 5 other schools, and the same thing happened there. There was the same questions, same concerns that our kids were having, that the kids there were having, which I thought was really big.
And did you find that you could brainstorm? You could brainstorm with the other schools?
We
Yeah.
really got to meet a great group of kids and adults while we were there. So it was really nice. It really was.
That's cool.
What follow-up is taking place?
So at the end of the month, the Safe Promise Club, the actual club is coming here, and they are going to hold an assembly for all middle school and high school students. At our superintendent student council meeting next week, we are going to talk about what we witnessed at the workshop and see what ideas we can come up with, because we want those students, our leaders, to lead a movement basically here. As I said, no one eats alone. Start with hello, say something. There's various different things that this program does during the year. Last week was, I believe it was Start with Hello Week. So they did it all week. We didn't have a chance to implement it here because we're new to the program, but that's something that we can start. And you don't have to do it the same week that everybody else does. So it'll be something that we'll implement here, and we'll just keep going with it. But we wanted to start with our youth leaders, advisors first. And then, as I said, we'll have an assembly so everybody will know about it.
I love that there are definite plans to enact, so it just doesn't die with that. Were those 3 students the only ones who went?
We were only allowed to bring 3 students with us.
For district, yeah.
Okay. I'm sure we'll help if we can.
What day is the assembly?
I believe it's the 27th of March. I'm not sure, and I can definitely let you know.
They're waiting for confirmation, but
Yeah. And they're doing one for middle school and one for high school, so they'll do 2 separate ones. And then, as Dr. Regal was saying, that our youth leaders will go to the elementary school and show them the same things. They have different programs for that, which is great.
Okay,
Thanks, Jill.
thank you.
Just last, Art,
Go
if
ahead.
anyone didn't recognize or read, that's Jeffrey Blauer, used to be on the school committees, little wonderful charmer who was like a toddler when he arrived.
Yes, sure was. Not anymore.
And she is on on your council, right?
she's been on my council, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Public comment. Is there any public comment tonight? Doesn't look like it. All right, business managers report. Approval of the warrants.
And Marlene's muted, I think.
We also have an unknown iPhone 149 that needs to identify themselves.
Is that Carl?
No, Carl's up to
Ask one.
Yep. iPhone 149, can you please identify yourself? Thank you.
It's, what's in the little writing underneath that says something's phone? Oh, Tina.
Okay,
Okay.
so Marlene, go ahead.
Good evening, everybody. We're looking for approval of the warrants for the March 13th warrant report for health insurance, vendors, and payroll.
I just have one question. What's meal tax? What's meal tax?
That was my question too.
Anything that would be taxable for the state of Massachusetts would need to be paid, so that is what that line item is.
Meal tax is usually when you sell something.
Right.
Are we selling things?
We do have, but I would think that that might be, I mean, we're typically tax exempt, but that's not
Yeah,
always.
can I get clarification on that, please?
Yeah, I will get you clarification as you discuss the rest of the warrants.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else have any questions?
Sometimes you can't take the tax off. We try to be. Yeah, but sometimes they do not accept the tax exempt in certain places. It's very rare, which is why you don't see it very often, but there are times.
But you would have to be selling something to be charged a meal tax. That's what I'm saying. That's what a meal tax is.
It's payable though, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can
We'll figure it
get
out.
back, yeah, it's not a huge amount, it's not material.
So once I get that information, I will send it to the superintendent and she can share it. I want to make sure we get you the correct information.
Thank you.
So do we hold approval on this now?
No.
Okay. It's not material.
It's probably something else that was mislabeled.
Anybody else have any other questions? Okay. Roll call vote. Kim?
Yeah.
Nancy? Yes. Jim? Julie? Bonnie? Carl?
Yes.
And Stephanie?
Yes.
Thank you.
And you?
And me, Arthur. Yes. Okay, is there any grants or gifts?
There is not,
What about budgets transfers?
not at this time.
Okay,
And I have an explanation for you for the meal tax. It's the percentage of meals sold that owe to the state as revenue, just like McDonald's has to pay.
But there's my question in there. What are we selling for meals?
Oh, it could be staff meals we have to pay.
We do have sales outside, so we'll get this exact amount. That's why I'm saying it's not big, so let me
No,
look at that.
No, that's fine.
It was
Yeah.
more about curiosity why they're doing
Yeah.
this.
But that's what I would assume. When adults
it's
buy
staff.
lunch from the cafeteria, we have to pay for that. So there's probably tax on that.
okay, thank you.
We're really kicking up our
Purchase
purchases.
that information.
I know, right?
Thank you, have a good evening.
Thank you.
Okay, the chairman's report. The MASC charting the course on the 21st of this month. We need to figure out a time that works for at least most people. So it's from 3:30 on. So I myself, I cannot be here till at least 5 o'clock, but if everybody else can be here sooner, then,
Check with Stephanie.
whatever we can do to make this happen.
Thank you, Nancy. My preference is always later. I don't have a concept of how long this will run though, and I don't want to hold everybody up. Or I think you've likely taken charting the course before, so I don't know that it's imperative for you to be there, but if you guys can just tell me what time to be there, I will make arrangements to make it work.
Will this be on Zoom also?
It can be. I think as many people as you can get in person would be preferable, but I think it will be on Zoom. Or we can do a Zoom link. I think, I'm estimating it would probably be at least 2 hours, possibly 2.5.
Isn't this being especially designed for us
Yep.
It's not the general standard. And we would be finished in time to go to the play.
Yes, because the play is that
Fires.
night, right. Well, if we time ourselves appropriately, right.
The play is at 7, right?
Yes.
I'm still.
I have to be there before 7.
Okay. So I'm saying anytime after 3:30, so if the majority of people can come earlier.
Yeah, I just, with children in play.
So does anybody have an idea?
Does it work to do 3:30 to 6?
And how many hours is it?
I would say at least 2.
So it's much shorter than what we went through.
So would it be
It's
like
the
4 to 6?
abbreviated, the
version of what we did
abbreviated,
years ago.
yeah.
Would 4 to 6 work?
I think so. How about Stephanie?
We're looking at 4 to 6? Carl?
I'll be there.
Okay.
Okay.
I listed it as MASC crash course.
Okay.
4 to 6.
Did Carl say that?
3:30.
What?
Anytime
Did
after.
someone ask me a question?
Yep.
I was muted for some reason. What, can you repeat the question, please?
Yes, for the mass charting the course, the MASC course, on the 3/21, can you do 4 to 6?
I can't be there because I'm going to be visiting my son in Florida for 4 days on the 19th, 20th, 21st, 22nd. Are we talking about March or April?
Yes, March.
No, I'm going to be gone for 4 days.
Okay.
I think so. But
4 to 6.
I could zoom it. I could zoom in, but I think it's unseemly for the chair to zoom. I don't know if unseemly is the right word.
No, this isn't policy, Carl.
Oh, what is it?
Charting the cars.
It's the workshop.
It's the customized
MAS.
version of the full day in 2 hours.
Oh, well, no, I won't be there.
Glenda's gonna be disappointed. Okay.
Okay.
So 4 to 6 is what we're aiming
Yep.
for? Okay.
4 to 6.
We will let Liz know.
Okay. That's it for me. Superintendent's report.
Okay, so as everybody can probably tell, this has been an extraordinarily busy time, but I did want to report that we had our bus bid opening. The bus bid was opened on Monday, March 10th. We had one bidder. The bid was non-responsive, which means all bids through the bid process have to be responsive and responsible bids to be accepted. And in this particular case, non-responsive means that it did not match up with the time frames that we had put into the bid specs, and it did not, it was not responsive in providing for all students and all routes to be covered as requested by the district. So we will reject the bid and go back out to bid within the next week or so. All right, I had a wonderful opportunity today to do my read aloud. I'm going to just do my report and then questions. Is that okay?
Sure.
Wonderful. So I had the opportunity to read for, I don't know if this is my second, third visit down to Mrs. Blow's classroom, pre-K class, for our read aloud today. We're all about trains today, so that was delightful. Annually, we are required by the state to do a rural aid survey about the rural aid funds that we receive and what we did with them, and what they could do better. And every year I ask them to please let us know what our rural aid allocation is going to be and when we actually might receive it, so that we could budget more appropriately and effectively with that. And so far, no go on that, but we're going to ask again this year. That is due tomorrow. And I am really excited to report that our district, our Burke Studio students and Transcend were selected to present at the Superintendent's Conference in July. And we were chosen, I think there were 80 session proposals, and they only took 30. And we were selected, and not only were we selected, but because we were bringing students with us, they said they wanted us to be in the big room because they were so excited about the opportunity to learn about innovative educational experiences. So I think this is a wonderful opportunity for us to share the work that we've been doing in the district. Okay, so who has questions for me? Bonnie? Yep, I said.
First, did the students know that yet? The studio students know that they were selected?
Well, I asked before I said that, before I offered us, I said, would you be willing to do that? So yes, some of them do know.
That they have been selected?
They have been selected.
Where is it taking place?
It is at the Cape. All the conferences are at the Cape in the summer.
That's
Falmouth.
Okay, and then my other is a question that goes back to the bus. This is more art for you. Do you think that it would benefit you to just have a vote of support in terms of we're not willing to give up activity buses, we're not willing to give up late, we're not willing to give up, that we completely support what we submitted, what you submitted on behalf?
I mean, listen, you could, it doesn't. I mean, it's, what I think a vote of support would be when we decide what we're going to do, or, if I bring forth a responsive, I don't think we need it right now, because it's really just technical. It really just did not meet the bid specs, so it's just process.
Great, thanks.
But thank you. I'm done.
Okay, thank you.
Unless anybody else has a question.
Director of Curriculum Instruction.
I do have a report tonight. I sometimes struggle with what to share with you, and then Beth just said to me today, well, just tell them what you've been doing. And I was like, okay. So actually, I've been doing some of my favorite work lately. I have been spending a lot of my time with coaching teachers and unpacking curriculum and looking at student work and making decisions on how we can get better outcomes. And this is really, in my opinion, this work is the nuts and bolts of education. And in one of our middle school classrooms, a teacher has been collaborating with our coach from TNTP and myself, and we've been doing all of these things together, unpacking the curriculum and looking at student work and having long conversations about what is working well and what we need to tweak and change. And I looked at the data tonight before coming, and I was like, wow, this is great. This is what we want to see. So at the end of each selection in this program, there's a selection test for the kids to take. And they're hard. They're really hard. The first half of the year, this group of students, the average on those assessments was 30%. And they just took a selection test a couple days ago, and the student average was 83%.
Same students?
Same students.
Nice.
And so we will continue to do this fun work, and I feel quite certain that we will see similar results with their end of unit test. But these are the things that I love and I'm passionate about. We have been using that same coach who we got through a grant that started 3 years ago, the Acceleration Network grant. Unfortunately, this is the last year of that grant. But she has also been supporting in elementary, and this year the focus has been on K-2 and foundational skills. And Those teachers have been participating in professional development with her all year. We do walkthroughs and give feedback. We look at data and analyze it, and we've seen substantial growth in that age group on specifically their foundational skills data. And so we expect that at the pace we're going at, by the end of the year, in that area, our K through 2 students will have 80% of students on or above grade level, which is a huge, huge win. So I say all this just to say that this is the real work that makes the real difference, and I'm very excited about it. So then one of the things that isn't one of my more exciting parts, but is important, if you were on the committee last year, you know we had to do the SOA survey, which is the Student Opportunity Act survey. And this year is our year to just give them an update of where we are. And that's due April 1st, and I am working on it. And it is nice to see our progress and everything, but it's a little more high level than I like. But I will be sharing with you that once I have it completed. So that's it.
Bonnie?
So there must have been great teacher involvement in that change that took place from the 30 to 80%.
Of course. I mean, in any change,
wanted.
you have to have the teachers participating.
So
And
what happened that, how are the teachers involved and what is their feedback?
so it's a collaborative format that we have. So everything we do is together. We sit down and read the stories together. We take the tests together. We talk about what do we think is going to be a challenge for the kids. We look at student data together.
So the teachers are together with you discussing this and setting up.
Yeah, it's all together. I go into the classrooms when I can so that I can do observations and talk to the kids. It's 100% collaborative, and the teacher is really enjoying having the opportunity to dig in and share ideas. It can be tough in a small district to have people doing the exact same thing as you to collaborate with, right? You know, like when you have only so many grade levels, or you have one teacher teaching one class, or so I think that can be very isolating. So I think, this teacher has said that they have found great benefits of having people to collaborate with. And
not speaking for the whole, it's just speaking for me. Please congratulate and thank.
I will.
It really makes a difference.
Yeah, it was excellent news, and it's always good to see the black and white evidence of one's hard work, right? You can feel like you're doing the right thing, but to see that data that really says, yes, you are, is great.
Thank you.
I have a question. You said you're unpacking curriculum.
What does that mean?
Does that mean?
So when you buy a high-quality instructional material, it comes with a lot of resources, tons and tons of resources. And so you'll hear people say, oh, well, you're buying a curriculum, you're just handing someone a script and anybody can just read a script. And that could not be any further from the truth, because it's not a script you can just read. You really have to do the work of taking all the assessments the students are going to take, reading all the passages the students are going to read, digging into every resource that the curriculum provides to you, from anchor charts to videos to graphic organizers, whatever. And then you have to make meaning out of, I can't use all this. This is a huge buffet. What of this buffet is really going to nourish my students and what nutrients do they need to be successful. So that's what unpacking is.
Okay.
But thanks for asking, because I bet somebody else wondered what that meant too.
Sounds like you're hungry also.
Well, you know, just doing the little analogy because it's after dinner time.
I just thought I mentioned that. It sounded-
Just because there has been no buffet in front of me.
There's chips.
Thank you very much. Sandy?
Hi, good evening, everybody. I apologize. I don't have a report, and I know you're upset about it. They're pretty titillating. But I did want to talk a little bit about the summer program, which is coming up. So we have an extended school year program for special education, and then we have a summer program for students in the elementary grades and even some secondary, depending on their needs. And we've done our outreach regarding extended school year, which is a special education component, and we've already gotten an overwhelming response, and it's only been about a week and a half, so that is great to hear. But I also just want to comment on the staff and the faculty who have already, reached out and want to work this summer. All the feedback that I usually get about summer is that they really enjoy it. It's very positive. We have a half day and then a longer day for some of our students that have more significant needs, but we focus on academics, social emotional needs, and some fun. So it really goes well, and it's running this summer from July 1st to July 31st, Monday through Thursday. And I just really wanted to thank everybody who's already kind of stepped up to the plate to work again, but also thank you to the families who are, already signing up to send their kids, because I think it's a good opportunity for them, and it's the 1 month, it's 5 weeks, and it's just a great way to bolster some of those skills. So that's all I have for tonight.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
On to new business. The preliminary draft of the 25-26 academic calendar is in your packet.
So we don't even, it's really just a very, very, very preliminary draft. So right now, what it has is exactly roughly around the same dates as last year. We just are starting the process. We've shared it with the SBREA. It's in the feedback stage. And so it's just the very start. We will come back after people have had a chance to weigh in and give some feedback with something that's a little bit further developed. But right now, this is just an initial. The only thing I would note is that the way the calendar happens to fall, we are taking advantage of around the December break time, shutting down for the full 2 weeks is what most people have thought of as the best decision, the way it fell. Other than that, everything's open for discussion. So we'll be coming back with more, but we wanted to at least put this in here as a starting point.
Okay, thank you. Approval of the overnight field trip for Ms. Shu's class to Framingham.
The FFA convention.
For the FFA convention.
Hi, Nick. My name is, I'm the FFA advisor, and it's come around again. The state convention is going to be in full swing April 2nd to April 4th, and hoping to seek approval for bringing 12 students this year. We had a junior who applied for grant funding from the Janet Fund and sought the maximum reward and was given that. So kids are really excited, and we're recognizing a couple students. There'll be a ceremony for them. They will be receiving their Bay State degrees, which is the highest degree for the FFA. And we also have an 8th grader that will be attending for the day and going to do some public speaking, pre-speaking.
Cool.
So I'll move for approval
Are you making the motion? I can't hear you.
Yeah, moving for approval of the FFA trip from Wednesday, April 2nd through Friday, April 4th to attend the state convention.
Second.
Anybody else have any questions? Seeing none,
I
roll.
would go. You want to go?
It's a good time. It's a lot of fun.
I know.
Roll call vote. Nancy?
Yes.
Kim?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Julie?
Yes.
Bonnie? Carl?
Yes.
Stephanie?
Yes.
Arthur, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for doing it.
Reschedule the date for the school committee walk through the facilities.
I'm open, but I would prefer like mid-morning around 10:30.
Is that doable time?
Depends on the day, but possibly, sure.
Okay, okay,
It's good for me.
okay.
So what day?
We were just getting a time, so.
I could probably put out a couple of dates that may be available. and-
Well, we need to check with,
Yeah.
Okay,
and then we'll be back to you.
okay. So 10:30 time frame?
10:30.
Okay. I will have them send out dates.
Okay. Unfinished business, review and approval of the school committee norms and beliefs.
You've received over the last week or so, it was on the norms and beliefs and mention of the redundancy in the word respect throughout the document. But I don't have any suggested edits from anybody as replacements for those or changes or deletions. So if anybody has any now, we can make those changes.
Seeing none, I would take a motion to approve.
Motion to approve the school committee norms and beliefs.
Second the motion.
Okay. Stephanie?
Yes.
Carl?
Yes, and at the end of the roll call vote, can I make a brief comment on this? I don't want to do it, I don't want to interrupt the vote, but I have something to say which is moderately important.
Okay. Kim?
Abstain.
Nancy?
Yes.
Bonnie?
Yes.
Julie?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Arthur, yes. Okay, Carl?
Okay, thank you, Arthur. When Stephanie sent out the email message, I noted that she sent it to the entire school committee.
Yep.
And there were a couple of comments sent to reply all. There's the problem, or there's a potential problem with commenting on a matter other than a pure ministerial problem, meaning timing, scheduling, etc. And the problem is that it is a technical and maybe worse violation of the open meeting law to have that discussion in a chain email, and people should be careful. If you want to make a comment to Stephanie, make it to Stephanie, or make it to the superintendent who can then handle it appropriately. But if you make it to all of us, it can wander into the realm of decision-making or contemplate or discussing a decision that the school committee might make, and that isn't a good thing to do. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Carl. Review and approval of the school committee goals.
suggested edits on this document.
Yep, go ahead.
I don't have any
Okay,
further to share.
all right.
I have one thought. I don't know if you want to have the motion to approve first, or if you want to
Okay.
hear what my
No.
thought is.
Motion to approve?
Motion to approve the school committee goals and objectives draft.
Second?
Second?
Okay.
So I was thinking about the policy piece. It's the number 3 on all of this. And it occurred to me that really when we approve the budget, that's one of the biggest policy decisions we make, that the money is where the rubber hits the road. It's where we decide to spend it. And I wondered if we should have something that says, ensure the annual budget aligns with and supports the SBRSD strategy for continuous improvements. And it could say, and superintendent goals or something like that. But I mean, that's like one of the biggest policies, deciding where the money will go. Is that appropriate? Is it not appropriate to have something related to finance there? So I'm just tossing it out for others who, have more experience at this level. But it was something that crossed my mind when I was reading some MASC stuff recently, and they talked about budget being the biggest policy we set. I mean, it's something we do. I mean, we
Yeah.
put the money to a line, but do we want it to say that?
Bonnie?
I would totally support that
Yeah,
under
I'm wondering-
policies and procedures, that we add that, especially given that under goal 1, we say seek grants and funding to enhance classroom resources, et cetera. I think under ensuring that they're up to date and effective, that we have an objective of reviewing budget, annual budget, and I think also actively participating in the budgeting process. Because I think that's important for all school committee members to know more than just, the people on finance. You learn a lot. So make it as simple. I mean, you had a very simple way.
Yeah, I had a very simple statement just to kind of address
I
it.
would make the motion to turn what Julie suggested into a motion. So.
Well, that would be
Julie, if you-
amending the motion.
No, I would amend goal 3
Yeah, I was going to
to
say.
add a number 5, and I move that, and if you now read it, that would be my motion.
Okay, so what I jotted was ensure the annual budget aligns with and supports the SBRSD strategy for continuous improvement.
That's my motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Stephanie, did you get that?
I'm not such a great secretary. There's a reason I don't work at that level. So I'm typing as fast as I can. I'm going to have to ask you one more time to repeat that. Objective 5, ensure the annual budget aligns with
And supports the SBRSD strategy for continuous improvement.
Got it.
Okay, so first we have to vote on the motion.
Hold on, I do have one other suggested edit then. I would recommend changing the header of goal 3 to include a note about the budget. So I would recommend changing that to ensure school budget policies and procedures are up to date and effective.
So do you mean, well, I was viewing budget as a policy. Did you mean budget, comma, policies?
Yes.
Oh.
But if you see budget as a policy, we can,
I don't know.
Well, what
Take
about
that
your policies, comma, procedures, and budget?
Kim?
Just seeing that there's now 3 changes on the thing, maybe we should put it off until we actually have it done and printed, because even if she edits it, we're not going to see it to read it.
That's okay.
So, okay.
I mean, and we've already just had 3 edits in a row, so.
I'd be happy to postpone my.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like
Until
we're
the
not
edit
following
takes
anything,
place.
but
So you
it
can
just
withdraw
seems-
your motion.
Yeah, it just seems that, okay, we're now doing 3, we're now doing 5, we're down.
I'm agreeing.
Yeah.
So I'll
So-
withdraw my second, you and draw, yeah.
And give
then it'll
Stephanie
give
time to
Stephanie
get the
time to
word.
type it up.
Right, and distribute it.
Okay, so if anybody else has any more comments, please give them to Stephanie.
No, the only comment that I have is just to say is to follow up on what Carl brought up, so that if, because I saw that too, and again, with the open meeting laws, it's really important to just reply directly to Stephanie, not to everybody else.
Correct.
So just emphasizing that.
Art, where are we now procedurally on Julie's motion? Has she withdrawn her motion?
Yes, she has, Carl.
Okay, thank you.
I made the motion, but I withdrew it.
I made the second, yeah.
Yeah. They both withdraw their motions.
Okay, and it's tabled for some later date.
Next
Thursday.
Next Thursday.
Oh, okay, all right, good, okay, thank you, thanks.
Are you all set, Stephanie?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
No problem.
Finance Committee. I don't have anything else to say. We've discussed what we needed to do for Monday night, so.
I would just say we continue.
Yeah, we continued the budget presentation till Monday night. Community Relations.
We had our first meeting on the budget newsletter, and that will be out in time for perusal prior to town meeting.
Okay.
By monorails.
Yes.
Carl, policy?
Well, we had what I regard, and I hope there's some agreement with the subcommittee, a very fruitful discussion with Liz LaBonte of MASC on Monday night, last Monday night, and we went through approximately half of the policy manual and I think we made very good progress on it. And we're having another meeting where we hopefully, it takes a long time, there's a lot of stuff, there's a lot of words. And not only words, they mean something. So we have a second meeting scheduled, and Liz will be back with us, and hopefully we can get through the second half of the policy manual, and then be able at probably after the budget season is over, when we have a little bit more time, when we're not so pressed, and then present the policy subcommittee's recommendations on all of the things in policy to the full committee for a vote.
Carl, can I make one correction?
Yeah, sure.
We only did part A. Now we're on to part.
Yeah.
But there's a lot more policies in the manual than, we only did one section of it. 1/26th, right, of the policy manual, so.
Is that true? We only
Yes,
did
that's it. Well, but she
Yes.
said that was one of the biggest ones and had the most meat to it. I don't think we're halfway through. It's like A through L or some ridiculous.
Jay could take us.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I don't even know. I just know there's a
It
lot.
takes over a year to
I was going
do
to
this.
say, that's exactly what Glenn
And meeting
said
once
to
a
us.
month at least. It's gonna take a year.
It's going to take a
At
long
least.
time.
Year to see, yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, then folks, make some, start thinking about a new chair after. Just give some consideration who you want to do it next.
Just keep taking those vitamins.
Oh, my God, that's so funny. He's such a funny guy.
Which vitamins would those be?
Any that'll keep you going through this.
Yeah, okay.
It's all good, Carl.
Yeah, okay, great. Thank you, Art. I'm sorry, that was a big mistake. I was overly optimistic, but okay.
A rarity.
Personnel and negotiations.
Well, we are moving along. We have a much more detailed number of meetings set up for the next few months, and hopefully we will reach resolution. I think both sides have dug in for a good outcome. I currently have a bunch of executive session minutes that the subcommittee will have to review so that it can then go to Carl's executive session review committee. So they haven't been reviewed yet, so I'll have to set up that we meet, just to let the executive session people know, meet before our next meeting, slightly earlier. And in discussing with Art after our last meeting when we had everybody together, Art had suggested, we agreed that having a meeting of that nature should take place again. Because it really helps the subcommittee to feel, is there a problem?
I was just asking Art if 6 was a quorum, because I'm not feeling well.
Yes,
So-
No, go ahead.
Yes,
Yeah,
it
it
is.
is.
Yes.
I know.
Yeah, it is.
No, but I know somebody up there has to go too, so
Oh.
what is the quorum number?
6.
6.
Okay,
We're not voting, go ahead.
okay.
So very quickly,
Just have to let it go.
We're almost done, I'm gonna
Yeah.
hang.
Do you want to let it?
that we will be moving ahead, and I'm sorry we don't have great detail, but this is how we have to move.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Superintendent evaluation.
We have nothing right now.
Okay. Executive minute review, Carl?
Yeah, okay. I happen to be a pterodactyl when it comes to using those scheduling apps, like whatever it's called, Survey Chimpanzee or something like that. But so I'm going to do it the old-fashioned way.
We want some, whatever it is.
I'm going, when budget season is over, meaning shortly, I'm going to send out a list of dates to those on the executive sessions subcommittee, and people will just respond to me on what's available and what's not available, and we'll try to get a more or less a consensus of when we can meet. And some of them are very clear cut, which we won't be able to release for various reasons. For example, there was a relatively recent, although not that recent, settlement with a former employee, and there's a non-disclosure agreement as part of that settlement. And that means, for all intents and purposes, that those executive session minutes can never be released because of the non-disclosure requirement. Obviously, executive session minutes involving the current negotiations with the SBREA cannot be released until we have a new contract. So those are the reasons. But there are some others that present other issues. And so, I mean, the short, I already made this longer than it should have been. Yeah. But I will try to have a meeting to discuss, to go through those executive session minutes that we can go through.
Thank you, Carl. Future agenda items.
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay, no executive session?
Nope.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Stephanie? Carl?
Yes.
Nancy?
Yes.
Kim?
Yes.
Bonnie?
Yes.
Julie?
Yes.
Jim? Art? Yes. Good night, everybody. Thank you. I'd like to call the public hearing of the FY26 District Operating Transportation and Capital Budgets to order. Due to unseen...
Just read it right from there.
Yep, due to unseen circumstances, unfortunately, it has been brought to our attention that while this hearing was published in the newspaper in accordance with public hearing requirements of MGL C7138N, it was not also posted 48 hours in advance in accordance with the open meeting law. This prevents us from providing a budget presentation, discussing the budget, answering questions in any way that may be considered unlawful deliberation under the open meeting law. To ensure compliance with the open meeting law, we will be adjourning this hearing to Monday, March 17th at 5:30 at the Mount Everett Library, 491 Berkshire School Road, Sheffield, Mass. 01257. This will allow us to meet the 48-hour posting requirement while also taking into account our need to submit this budget to the member towns in advance of their town meeting. Monday's meeting has already been posted. Section 38N allows us to adjourn this hearing from time to any time or place without republishing notice. As Monday's meeting will be a continuation of the hearing open tonight, we will have announced the continuation date tonight, but the hearing will not be republished in the newspaper. We thank everyone for attending tonight, and we apologize for this inconvenience. To ensure that all interested parties are permitted to provide comments and hear the comments of others, we will accept written comments on the budget, and recording of the hearing will be posted on the district's website. I'll take a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
All right, thank you, everyone.